And the match looks like it's about to begin. I'm back, everybody. I'm a little sweaty, so now I'm glad I took the our camera off. Computers, can't live with them, can't live without them. So yeah, I'm perpetually praying that this doesn't go down. I have a second PC booting up, which is also updating in another room of our home. So if we do crash, I'm going to try to pivot as quickly as possible. So
at the very least, there's still the YouTube stream.
Sure, yeah, people can duck over to Valdez's channel and at least watch the footage.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we should be up. If that happens, we should be up certainly no later than the start of round 2. Because, like I said, it's booting. It's booting up and updating right now. So as soon as this match ends, you know, or if we have another catastrophic failure, I'm going to duck in there and check on its progress. And then before round 2, we should be ready to pivot if we have to.
Or whatever round comes.
Sure.
I like their setup. Like,
yeah, no, this is good.
I like they're doing their due diligence in setting up the facade of this view.
Yeah, for sure. Tournament's about to begin. Applause all around. Yeah, props to Brian Valdez. He did a hell of a job. I'm not sure if anybody helped him with it. If there were others involved, props to you guys too.
Yeah.
But Brian's the one who touched base with me
That's where this is happening.
to try to set this whole thing up. So.
Forgotten Path is
Yes.
the name of the location?
Correct. Forgotten Path Games in more northern California. Like, I think they're closer to San Francisco than, say, San Diego.
Yeah, I knew this was the NorCal region.
All right, so here we go.
Getting some words out of the way on there. Blah, 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 blah. Silence. Are we going to top 32?
That's what it sounded like. We'll get confirmation on that later, presumably on the blog, if nothing else. But
That's a lot of people, right?
Richie, in effect, announcing the... I mean, yeah, that would be... I don't think there's ever been,
Not even
by the
Denmark,
numbers,
right?
a top 32 tournament. I'm not sure. Maybe. I think they might have been talking about, like, product or something. Look at these hot takes.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Like, you stick around, because top 32 will get packs or something like
okay.
that.
I was going to say, wait a minute, that's a lot. Oh, a little lower.
Stare down the cloak. I'd say it's pretty hard to tell what Matt's hand is right now, but not surprising that he'd be into restored Gohan.
Now you know the pain of us trying to switch cameras.
Yeah, man, hand cams aren't easy, that's for sure.
I think he's got a confrontation.
He's going to stack something and
Down,
to...
stop, and visiting. Did you stop?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know what I'd necessarily place the odds are coming into this match, because I like Restored Gohan a lot. It's a really cool deck, but
Cooler's no
Devious
fun.
Cooler is so versatile that it probably doesn't have a bad matchup.
Yeah.
So I would bet this is at worst 50-50 for...
Maybe I'm sure that's right. Or did he just play that? I'm pretty sure he didn't have it. Let's see. Held on to the confrontation or doing another one. Double blast and confident shot. I believe
Yep.
is that card.
Yeah.
And he's gonna put it on top, or he's going to put a card on top. How you're actually supposed to do Devious
Restored.
restore it.
Yeah. That's a big hand of energies.
Yeah.
Capture Supernova, Sagacious, and Stare Down.
Party.
This might be... I mean, it
First
certainly wouldn't be...
combat
Yeah, it
feature,
certainly
yeah.
could be, because he's got an answer. He's got Stare Down, which is always awesome. He's got Sagacious for
Oh.
one ally and a couple attacks. I mean, that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't a, like, you should enter this
Yeah.
turn, but, like, he totally could have done it.
And he's got the supernova in the discard, which is something that is
Sure.
something cooler wants.
Yeah, right. He accomplished something even by passing there.
He's got heritage drill,
Palm Shot, I think. It's the one that can't be blocked by anything but energy combats. And I can't tell what his third card is, but... Oh, that's the finger lasers or something. I believe it's the energy that lets you cycle the top of your discard and then draws the top card on hit. I'm not sure how the cards that I've seen Matt Lowe turn over so far. I'm not sure.
Energy costing 1, 3 life, rearrange.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about
hit, draw the top of your discard.
How I feel about his restored Gohan build. I'd love to see this list later on. Like, it seems it's either very attack thick or very attack diverse.
Not confident shot.
Because he's running a lot of cards that are super cool, but that are hard to justify in terms of just like how do you find space for everything.
Yeah.
So I would love to know like what kind of stuff he had cut to fit in things like finger lasers and. I mean, this is a similar but like even slightly more safe hand than the last one.
Oh yeah.
Than the last one we had for Black Cooler, because.
No surprise, he kept the other stare down.
So you would have needed to maintain less or even no stages to really execute on that hand, because if he just wanted to enter and feel things out, you can always mastery that black capture.
I feel like this camera might be a little closer than the other one.
Yeah, it might just be like the stand might be oriented differently or whatever. Or people are different. Like maybe
I'm assuming this is
the way people hold themselves in posture and stuff. Yeah, this would be an enter for Gohan power. So this is going to be our first combat of the game.
Woohoo!
Say my guess was going to be probably Piccolo, maybe Icarus, just
it's
cause.
signed. I was like, what is on that card?
But in any cooler matchup, you want Piccolo out. They're going to have energies. They're going to have supernovas. If you can have Piccolo on the table against Cooler, you want that to happen. So.
Blown up Heritage Drill with the Supernova Rejuve.
Mm-hmm. But like certainly better than having it play. But that's not a deal breaker for Matt in the first combat of the game being at level 1.
Visiting for Sagacious. Party time.
Pretty defensive, yeah. Energy block, physical block, defensive burst.
Confrontation. That's the word I was looking for. There we go. So long, stare down.
Mm-hmm. I meant to bring it up at the start, but these are two. If you haven't been around for the duration of the game, like since the inception, these are two super old school. Like they've been playing forever. I've known Rich Bondi and Matt Lowe for a long, long time. So it's kind of cool to see them. Like it's cool and not cool to see them playing in the first round. Like it's always cool when high quality players are playing each other, but also a bummer to watch them destroy themselves, like destroy each other so early in an event. Like round 1 isn't exactly ideal. Isn't exactly ideal for those kind of pairings, but what are you gonna do? But yeah, this is. We'll kind of see what happens with the game state at the end of this combat. I would guess that Matt maybe plinks for a tiny bit of damage, and that's sort of all that becomes accomplished. Because Rich Bondi's hand is so defensive that I don't think he's going to get away with a ton.
Well, he did just mastery a block.
Right. And Restored Gohan runs almost exclusively energies, so like pitching that physical defense is not going to materially. I don't think I would have gotten rid of that, but.
Now he's got
in fact, I know that I wouldn't have. I would have pitched that other energy that he kept that I think it also draws a card that card's still on my cut list for those two. I forget its name, but yeah, see, I don't know about that.
What do you think of which one?
It's got Piccolo on it with an orb.
That's not helpful.
I know. Sorry, folks.
Do you know set?
It's in set 5, I believe, in Perfection. I think.
It's an energy, you said?
Yeah.
Assuming it's Namekian?
It sure is.
Counterblast? Focus Ball?
I think it's not Focus Ball. That one.
Focus Ball.
Okay, there we go. Thank you, Lorraine. Crushing it.
Life.
Yeah, I don't love running that card. Like in a deck that's crowded with really good energy attacks, like that one's pretty middling in my opinion in terms of like where you could allocate space for cool stuff. So Matt's build of Restored Gohan might be a bit different than what I would put together. And he's gonna take that defensive burst, probably pass out, maybe throw that attack. Like, he's got a Yamcha in play. Can't tell if there's anything else, like, off
Oh,
the
he's
side of
got
the field.
7
But
stages.
yeah, and that's why I have no clue why you would keep this card, as opposed to the one that's less blockable. But, you know, I guess he just wanted to manipulate his deck a little bit. Like,
He's got a confrontation on the bottom of his discard.
which would be super cool. I mean, I'm assuming it's going to hit. I'm assuming he'll just hold that, because I can't imagine if he chooses to draw the confrontation.
Yeah.
And I would probably draw the confront and just pass out just for the stronger. Yeah, okay, he's going to do that. Like, I wouldn't take a random draw there on the hopes that you're going to get a card better than confrontation for your next turn, because that's probably not going to happen. So I think he made the right call there. Sagacious, he's letting it through. I mean, he's not making it unblockable, so it's going to hit for damage. Because he knows what Matt's hand is, so he can't block it.
But he did leave him open for Yamcha.
And then you say, yeah, well, now he's going to kill Yamcha. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He would have almost certainly made it unblockable if there was a chance
I mean,
that it could be
he knew
stopped.
that there was the confrontation in his hand, so.
Because Black Cooler, if Black Cooler has a weakness, it's that it doesn't have great crit potential. So, you got to hit with supernovas or
They're out.
use Sagacious.
Another one.
So
He keeps drawing captures.
Bondi has drawn every capture in the deck. Like I think within three
Yes.
turn draws,
It's
it would be
been-
4 if you consider the combat and the cards he milled for
Rid of knee block
like
and swirl.
negligible damage from Matt.
That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Chaozu, it looked like.
Yeah, at least an ally. Yep, Chaozu, you're correct.
Print 4 Chaozu. That's a pickle card. Set 2.
Oh, that's Salvo. That's the one that costs a bunch and does a lot of damage. And he rejuved it, yeah. Kept that confrontation. Which sort of matters. Like, I'd still probably keep it relative to the cards he had, but he's also given Bondi information. Like, he knows that he has confrontation, which is even scarier against Black, because then he can come in with a swirl and...
Or stare down it, potentially, or something else.
Right. At the very least, he knows he's capable of confrontationing, and so he can kind of, play around with that information, yeah.
Kept the stare down.
Yeah, this match is certainly... it's very early. I'm still going to lean towards Bondi probably at this point. And honestly, that's mostly just because I don't love some of the things I'm seeing in Matt's build in terms of deck building choices. Like, he's made a lot of decisions in the cards he's chosen to run that I probably wouldn't have. And none of those decisions seem to me like they're going to be material in a matchup like Black Cooler. Like, a bunch of the sort of plinky energy attacks that draw cards. Unless he gets the mythical combat of, like, chaining into each of them, which, could happen, but Black is pretty defensive against that kind of stuff, so... Might stack that palm shot.
Potentially fake him out.
Yeah,
He
right.
still kept the confrontation, though.
But he did put a card on top, so he at least knows it's in his next draw, if nothing else. I'm really glad Bondi's running Chin Kicks. That card owns.
It's pretty good in this matchup. With allies.
All right, yeah, I mean,
Those allies
it's
are
one of the matchups that it is the most effective in, but, I mean, even matchups that aren't ally-heavy, there are a handful of decks, like other cooler builds that, like, some of them,
Oh, yeah.
play a small smattering of allies, or it's
right,
or it's anger. Like
Or
it
it's
hits to give you anger equal to your current anger level. So if nothing else, it'll always make you mad.
Yeah. Hopefully getting off.
Eyeballs a salvo, takes it. So this will be a real weird turn if he chooses not to enter, because he set himself up for 2 attacks.
Yeah.
And
He got Yajirobe.
okay, Yajirobe not doing a ton right now.
Yeah.
And honestly, probably doesn't do a ton against Black Cooler, other than like the game state where they have visitings and you don't. Because Black Cooler is not so setup heavy that it needs to use them immediately.
More captures.
Also running Tugs, which is super not good news for
Yeah.
for
this
Matt.
This is a pretty good.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that hand.
Oh no! It would have been cool, but I think he seems to be playing a little bit more defensively.
In fact, he could have probably pretty seriously bullied Matt with stage pressure if he had let on that chin kick and gone in that combat. Like, not enough to deal a ton of damage, but enough to keep him from doing much.
Yeah, keep him on point.
Yeah.
Force him to play smart. Power up all those allies. Oh, he's going.
Matt Lowe's going in.
Getting another friend.
I also wonder, when I'm talking about like making interesting deck building decisions, I wonder what his physical block line is like, because I don't think I've seen him draw a single physical block all game.
Who?
Matt Lowe. And that's a...
Yeah, I don't think so.
That's a, like, maybe he felt like, I've got so many allies that it doesn't matter, but...
Yeah, they'll just
okay, he's got a couple. I doubted he had none, but it was just a little strange to me that we hadn't seen any yet. Speaking of physical blocks, here comes Chi-Chi.
Yep.
But, you know, not a bad option. Like, keep your defensive board in place, but little does he know that if Rich Bondi gets to chin kick, it's not going to matter for this turn at least, so... Yeah. Matt's hand is pretty stage heavy, like stage cost heavy, I'm fairly certain, so I could see this being a really rough turn for him.
Trunks.
But we shall see. Supernova. Declaration, something else.
Something
Chin kick
said
and,
to
oh,
card
swipe,
that's
okay.
super shiny.
Yeah. And there
That's
goes the chin
power.
kick.
Not used to non. I keep forgetting what non-promo power up looks like. Oh no. No, that was
Oh,
them.
thank God.
Yeah, that was them.
Just the internet. Or something. Not a full-on stop.
Didn't help.
Had a slight hiccup.
Held our breath during that.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
We're doing
Okay, so the chin kick's a non-issue for this turn. Now it's all about sequencing for
cross guard.
what Bondi wants to do. I mean, throwing the Supernova first is fine. Like,
Uh-huh.
I might have held on to it for a little later, but, you know.
Well, he's got two setups in hand. So, I mean,
Does he? I thought the other one was a swipe. Maybe it does a power-up.
No, I'm pretty sure it's a power up and.
He's got a declaration.
Yeah, I think.
But
it's
that's
a-
just going to hit the table with the mastery.
Yeah.
In fact, that probably would have been what I would do there, just to suck an ally off the board, like, in the future when needed. Takes that hand burst to the dome. It's going to keep that command, which, you know, not too surprising.
Yeah.
There's a mastery.
I think maybe he supernovaed to because Yajirobe's out, so he needed to perform an attack first, right?
You know, I
Setups?
suppose that's true.
Right.
So, you got me there.
Aha.
So I was thinking him and Cooler's Power, because there's two reasons he couldn't use the setup in that action,
Yeah.
but I think Cooler's Power just prevents it from being used in your first action.
Yeah, it's
So
his first action.
mastering it into play would have gotten around Cooler's Power, but not Yajirobe's. So yes, you are correct.
Yeah, he needed to perform an
Yeah.
attack from hand.
No,
so.
Yajirobe had slipped my mind a little bit, because there was no setup in play.
Taking the
Punching
finger
through
lasers.
for finger lasers for a chunk.
Ouch.
And here comes a buttload of damage. Yep, that salvo is going to hurt a lot.
Getting rid of Chaozu.
Which will save him, you know,
Some.
7 life cards this turn, because I'm pretty sure that salvo would have put him within ally range. You're right, it was a power-up. I am mistaken. Lorraine is on point.
He got the chin kick and got confronted away, or pretty sure that's what. He left with. Competition in hell for a while.
Touch the crit there.
Ha.
Which is about as much as he could ask for at that point. He's taking a salvo for 9.
Resistance is doing work.
And we're out.
Okay. Cool.
So that was certainly a good combat from Matt. I take it all back. he's got this, apparently. Power up hits the table. That's never a bad thing.
Now he's powering up.
Right. Yeah, the fact that the Bondi didn't come out of that combat with any anger is the worst thing. like it's okay that he took his lumps a little bit, but the fact that he's no closer to getting off a level 1 is the thing that is really going to sandbag him now.
Yeah.
Because we're at the point of the game where he kind of needs to be at level 2 to get shit going. So if he doesn't get to level...
Matt didn't have a hand. He was able to burn through his entire hand, which is definitely helpful.
Sure. So if we can get... if he gets through the next combat, whatever the next combat becomes, if at the end of that combat Black Cooler is at level 1, it is probably not going to win this game. And that's a lot of anger to ask for in one burst.
Yeah,
so, like, realistically, what he probably wants to start turning this game around is for Matt to keep passing and to eventually draw commands.
One is in discard, and I think the other are in his deck.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the other two come up, so... If he hits his other visiting, he could suck one up, which wouldn't be ideal. But, I'm not sure.
It's perfect time for ball 2 to hit.
I mean, in fact, he probably won't play it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Why bother?
Yeah. Triple victory, man.
It's true. We put him within Smoothest Drill range, also, for Namekian, but he's got allies. That's the beauty of Restored Gohan, is you can...
Visiting doesn't do much of anything.
Meet that criteria with either allies or balls. Visiting, another power-up, rejuve.
I think all his stare downs are in there.
Yeah. That's got a ton of Bulma options. I mean, Supernova's never bad. I sure wouldn't hate Swirl. I honestly wouldn't hate, it would be a high level, very predictive play, but I wouldn't even necessarily hate taking the command here, because I can imagine a game state where Matt enters on a combat, and Rich visits for the command and then power-ups to end. And taking the command wouldn't even stop the anger, it wouldn't stop that part of it, but it would stop him from taking that one out of his discard pile. He's grabbing a swipe, so he's just going all offense, which, that's actually fine too.
We've had a comment about Bondi's poker face. His face he's so serious.
He is a literal poker player. He takes that shit seriously, so not surprising that his stoic face game is on point.
Yep. Not giving any inch. 3 swipes.
Right.
No stripe. No, I don't think he has any.
There might still be 2 in the deck, though. I don't know. I don't think we've seen a second one of those come up either. So
right.
that was an excellent pull. I have no problem with that decision. And again, Rich is in a really rough position right now. Can't quite see what's in his hand. With the powers on the table, I honestly wouldn't even hate a hit-and-run strategy of, enter on an anger card, let Matt do something that hopefully doesn't lower your anger, and then just bail.
No, you can't. If you're thinking about visiting, you can't. Okay, he's rejuving it. I was going to say...
He's got a different thing he can do when entering combat. There you go. Yeah, that Heritage Drill stays in there, so... It's ripe to be put in play again, with a hybrid for a cross guard.
Or not? Why are you looking
okay, sure. That's pretty funny. I mean...
Because he can't look at his now if he
No,
wants
he
to,
can't
right?
change. Interesting choice to put that on top, because Cooler does have options for drawing cards. He's okay. I was gonna say he probably wouldn't use Cooler's power to draw it before like a game state happened that would mill it off the deck. But I still wouldn't I wouldn't have liked leaving it on top. So I'm glad he put it on the bottom. Yeah, that was an okay play. I don't hate looking at his Bonnie's card necessarily. Matt's hand is again super aggressive, which is now exactly the place he wants to be in this game, because he's got a lead and he wants to maintain it.
Made that Sagacious Unstoppable to get rid of the thorn that is Yajirobe.
Right. Unlock that visiting, which is going to be funny when he drops ball 4 next turn, most likely. Yeah. He could always pitch it for the mastery, but I bet he'll hold on to it.
I mean, if they stay in long enough.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah. Finally putting some anger on the board.
Okay, power up.
A little bit at a time.
Yep. Okay. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's rough. Like, it sucks to have to do that, but I mean, that's close to, like, that's kind of the place that he's in at this point.
He did
like,
keep ball 4.
Yeah.
Unsurprising to me.
Yeah, there's no way. Like, if he had been able to stay in combat and been allowed to make the decision of like pushing even harder or keeping it, then it might have been a thing. Like with Bondi bailing like that, there was no way he wasn't going to hold that card. In one way or another. Because really, he could have held something else and mastered it to the top. But this is going to be just fine. Juva cross guard, probably for a heritage drill. Yep. And then I guess he's not going to stack it. Okay. That's fine too, I suppose. I probably would have stacked the cross guard. Just because if Cooler's going to come at him with anything, it's going to be meaty energy attacks.
Oh, the glare on those Dragon Balls. Oh boy. It's definitely one of the greatest challenges of streaming.
Bondi's got stuff. Maybe another supernova?
He's got a supernova. Can't really tell. I don't think he's got any more in discard if that's what he's looking for.
No, I don't believe so. Oh, never mind. He totally does still have one left. Okay. Cool. That will be very welcome. To not be completely murdered this turn, maybe. Alright, he's trunksing himself this time? Okay.
Crossguard, I believe.
It's still a crossguard. Okay. Funny.
Maxwell and...
An ally? Chi-Chi, I think? Or something else?
She's out, isn't she?
Oh, she is out.
Chi-Chi and Bulma are out.
In that case, I'm not sure.
Piccolo,
we'll find out.
Yajirobe, Yamcha,
We shall see. It might not even be an ally. And,
I think it is.
Oh, is it? Yeah, whatever. We'll find out. It's not going to matter much for the combat, so... Bondi evaluating his options. Yeah, he's in a really rough spot. And again, like it definitely also looks like Bondi's build isn't running Unleashed, which is another thing that, like, you know, that could help turn the game around in like a single turn. But without it, he kind of doesn't have that silver bullet of, oh, maybe I'll make a bunch of progress this combat.
Tug time.
That tug's fine. Like, Matt certainly would have preferred to have Chi-Chi in play, but I mean, that's far from a deal breaker. It's not going to demonstrably affect his ability to execute in this combat, or the next, most likely, so...
Oh, he sphered the confrontation.
Confront sphere. Nothing wrong with that. Here comes a Nova. Nope.
Crossguard.
Now finally within range of hitting level 2, but Matt's got... Matt's got a definitive answer for that. I would totally just mill both, but maybe just one? Alright. Yeah. In the current game state, I would have absolutely traded one more card for one more anger. Because the only thing that's going to possibly lose him this game, I would bet, is that Bondi gets off level 1.
And they're out again. That was a very flurry of blows. Gone and gone.
It was Chaozu. Okay.
Time.
That's some hand. Matt's got a million options. Yeah. There's a ton of things he could do with this combination of cards. I wouldn't be entirely opposed to entering is fine. I'll say if he had passed, I wouldn't even be entirely opposed to ditching the time there. Because hybrid defense will give you other stuff when you block, and he wants to push damage.
Oh, he's going.
And this turn, yeah, he's going in. All right, Bonnie gets to keep whatever the hell that is. And Matt's done when entering combat. So, will he heal that last supernova?
On the table, but
I mean, yeah, he could still rejuve it. You know.
Might as well. And
Add a life card into deck. Speaking of supernova.
Oh,
That blinding energy move is
Real
a big
good.
fucking deal. Because this would have been a super scary turn, most likely. Although, knowing, like, at least to Rich Bondi, it could have been a super scary turn. Us knowing the contents of Matt's hand, it actually probably wouldn't have been that bad. Because this is his only real action. I don't see how he could possibly get to within use of, like, attack allies in this turn. Contemplating who to tug.
No, he's taking damage.
No, I know, but it came up, so he gets to banish a thing.
Oh, really?
An ally, yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was
Yep.
part of his thing.
That's the thing that's the special sauce of that card.
Special sauce.
Matt requesting a discard check. Bondi banishing Trunks. Which that's fine. I might have checked his.
He shuffled his deck after he used Tug last time.
Mm-hmm. I would have probably double checked his piles and then maybe banished Bulma, but he might already know that he has no swipes left. I think there's at least 2 in the discard now. But you know, Trunks is a valid target in the state of the game where we're at right now, so that's fine, I suppose. So Matt's done pushing damage this turn, but he's still going to be in a fucking definitively commanding situation by the time this combat ends.
Yeah.
His ally board has been totally replenished. He can almost certainly hold time this turn. Get a deck count from Bondi. With Piccolo and hybrid defense. Yeah, like I don't know what Bondi can do to dig himself out of this hole.
Yeah.
It's not mathematically over, but it sure feels close. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. That's a hard thing to pull the trigger on, but again, he doesn't know the contents of Matt's hand. Because if he did know what Matt was holding, he almost certainly wouldn't have ended that combat and probably just gained some anger from the supernova.
Yeah.
But yeah, the possibility that Matt had another attack-rich hand, like, given the information at Bondi's disposal, that's as fine a move as any. I just don't think it's going to help him ultimately win the game. The deficit is too great.
I mean, they both are fairly low, but yeah, just Matt's board.
Again, he's got time, he's got Piccolo.
He's got a command, which...
Smoothness. All right, well,
Maybe
that card's pretty good, so coming in with a hand advantage on a turn. If there's anything that's going to help him scratch back from...
Wait, no! Why did he discard 2?
That's an excellent question.
You have to. Aww.
Whoops.
Aww.
You know, maybe just you're in a losing position in the first round of a tournament. No one wants to be in that state. Maybe he got a little rattled and just.
Probably. I mean, he hasn't smoothed this out the entire game.
Yeah, it's not out as often as it used to be. You could count on Black to drop at least a smoothest drill before they restricted it, like every single game, pretty much nowadays. Plenty of Black builds don't run it, or you know, if you do, it may or may not come up. Yeah. I mean, that could have been intentional, theoretically. Maybe he didn't want to rejuve the Supernova, but still wanted to rejuve a card, but I doubt it.
Yeah. Because it would have been the same net gain.
Well, I mean, leaving the Supernova lets him rejuve it when entering to do a thing. But
well, yeah, but then he still would have had.
he'd just been a card down before the combat, or a card down period, assuming he Supernovas, or when entering the next opportunity he gets. Yeah, Matt's going in. And that's what you do in games close to being closed out. You have a dominant board position and a lead in life cards. Like, there's no reason for him not to go in. He's got a lot of answers, and Rich doesn't have a ton. He had to kill his own smoothest throw with the Supernovas. That's pretty good. A second energy move. Again, yeah, I wonder. Maybe he didn't think it was an issue or like a priority getting rid of Bulma instead of Trunks when he had that other tug. But if I had even one swipe left, I probably would have killed Bulma instead. But he didn't check the piles or whatever. Again, you know, people make mistakes. These things happen. Gonna tutor a big ass, mostly unblockable energy and mill.
Swirl it.
He's gonna mill one, right? Because there's one ball in play. Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
2 balls.
One and 4, right? Duh.
You could swirl that card. You've got it. You've got it in your hand.
In fact, he either has to do that or end combat. But again, ending combat really just delays the inevitable.
Yeah.
Like. Rich's ideal to attempt to maintain a lifeline in this game would be to get to level 2 and start healing. So, you know, if he gets to level 2, throws level 2 power for some rejuvenation.
Now he's getting rid of Bulma.
Oh, that's... See? That is a grievous error. Because Palm Shot can't be blocked by it anyway. I'm assuming he didn't factor that in. Palm Shot can't be blocked by... Or no, it can be blocked by Swipe. I'm an idiot. Ignore me, Internet. My brain farted. Well, praying that the stream won't go down.
Oh. You mean hand burst?
Yeah. Thank you. That's why you're here, Lorraine. To correct all the things that I get horribly wrong. I appreciate it.
It can only be stopped.
Right, yeah, no, yes, yeah. I knew that. I just chose not to know it for about 10 seconds. You got this. You're keeping me honest. That's what we need.
Somebody has to.
Mm-hmm. This is his banish off of the swipe.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 other things he can put away.
Which, I mean, at this point kind of does and doesn't matter.
Sure. I mean, I don't hate getting rid of the overtime there, just because it can mill directly. Like, I'm assuming that's his rationale, and it also pushes attack damage. Like, he'll can tutor more attacks, but let's see, yeah, on Bondi to do something. So if he chooses to swirl, that will level him up on hit.
Yeah.
He's still got blinding energy move. Are those the only 2 cards he has left?
Yeah, I think he had the swipe.
Which he's used, and the tug, which he's used, yeah. So, yeah.
Bum cam.
Bondi's got 8 life cards. And again, I would think... Matt's got maybe 15.
More.
Yeah. Even better. I suppose.
Yeah.
I can see why he did that, but I don't see that as an out for this game.
Yeah.
And it would have been more of a Hail Mary play, but I would have absolutely thrown the swirl and tried to name something to get it to hit.
Still holding on to that.
Like, I totally understand why you wouldn't. Like, it's neither one is the incorrect play, but at this point, I don't think there is. I just don't see a path to victory for Bondi before Matt wears him down. Tug's back.
Wahlberg doing a whole lot of nothing in this match. He's drawn them so many times, it seems like.
Yeah, that hand is not what he... Again, I don't know what he would have wanted to see, but that's not going to be it. He certainly wouldn't have wanted the Tug, because in deck it is pretty much just as effective at clearing allies off the board, and it would have been Endurance that he desperately needs right now. So now it's in his hand, and that's a real bummer.
He does have 2 commands. Assuming he was running 3, he's got 2 still in deck.
Right.
But yeah,
2 Supernovas total floating around still, since he lost one with the energy move last combat. In terms of, like, passive rejuving he can do to, like, eke out a life deck and survive. And so if he attacks here, which again, like, you have to attempt to make plays, and yeah, he's going in. I would have still just liked to... It matters very little in the grand scheme of things, but I would have rather liked him to make his last stand in the last combat, probably, as opposed to this one, but Matt's still got that time. Let's see what else he peels off the top. He's still got Piccolo. He's still got attack allies on the occasion that he can get to 0, which, you know, unlikely, but he also probably doesn't need them at this point.
He's tugging Piccolo.
You got... Okay. I would absolutely, I say, yeah, I would have, no, I don't know. I would have absolutely shuffled up a ball to crit an anger there. But, again, in the grand scheme of things, might not make a difference.
Blow somebody else up. Goes Tug the sequel. Getting taken for damage.
I think he's going to still need to take one more life card after this. I believe that did 7 with Gohan's power. But yeah, he's weighing his Tug options with what I believe will be 1 life card in deck by the time this action ends. Okay, yeah.
So you get rid of Chaozu.
I mean, he's ready to make his last stand, which is throw that swirl. And then probably die. So I'm not sure if Matt has 2 blocks, but even if he can't, even if Rich Bondi names correctly and he can't block it, I say there's the time. Yeah, he named Hybrid. So, he named Hybrid. Matt will time. Pitch a physical block, I'm assuming. Yeah, he doesn't need that flinch. So now he's just fishing for a kill card on the offhand that Bondi's got an action left that matters, which he's got that villainous Powerball, I think, so he kind of doesn't have an action that matters. Yeah. Good game, guys. That's rough. Like I said, you hate to see 2 good players fight each other in the first round of a tournament. It just feels wrong. But, you know, those things happen sometimes. So yeah, that's the first round of the tournament. We didn't go down, thank God. Yeah. Thank you, computer. I did unplug literally everything from it. Like, we had a webcam that was going to maybe show us on the couch, but I took it out of the PC in terms of stability.
Oh, we're not doing that at
No,
all
yeah,
today?
I just
okay.
I was battening down the hatches.
Oh, quick, we're seeing his...
Oh, that's it. Yeah, don't show us your contacts list, sir.
No, he showed us his lock note, his pin.
Okay, I'm gonna. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been one of our cool backgrounds. Probably not happening now, but that's fine. You know what's important? Bringing people to Dragon Ball.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, like that's the first round of the event.
Time has already been called.
Sure. Yeah. So
winding
round
down
2 will
here.
probably come pretty soon. Keep an eye out here. I bet we'll be back very quickly. I'm gonna duck away for a moment. Just we held up for one round, and I'm fucking stoked about that. But I'm gonna still like really get our second setup in shape in case we need to pull the plug if the PC crashes again. But until then, stay tuned for the very near future. We'll probably be back within minutes with round 2. So we'll see you in just a bit.
Bye.